You buy the expensive bag, the one with the shiny cat on the front, the one that says premium in gold letters. You feel good walking out of that store. You feel like a responsible pet parent. And then you get home, you fill the bowl, and weeks go by, and your cat's coat still looks dull, still feels dry when you run your hand down her back, still has those little knots forming near the base of the tail, the ones you have to sit there and gently work out with your fingers while she squirms and gives you that look like, why are you doing this to me? And if you have felt that specific kind of tired, quiet frustration, the one where you are not angry, you are just confused, you already know what I am talking about. It is that feeling of, I am doing everything right. I bought the good food. I feed her on schedule. I even researched the brand before I bought it. So why does her coat still look like something is missing? Why does she still feel a little rough under your palm instead of smooth and soft like you remember from when she was a kitten? I want you to know something right now before we go any further. That feeling is not in your head, and it is not your fault. Because the truth is, most cat owners are never told the one piece of information that actually explains this, and once you hear it, you are going to understand exactly why the expensive bag was never going to be enough on its own. My name is Dr. Sidney, and today I want to sit down with you, just you and me, and talk about something that quietly affects millions of cats, and honestly, it breaks my heart a little every time I see it in my clinic. A cat comes in, healthy weight, eating fine, playful, no obvious illness, but the coat tells a different story. It looks flat, it looks tired. Sometimes it is almost greasy at the base, but dry and brittle at the tips. And the owner sitting across from me always says some version of the same thing. I feed her good food. I do not understand. So let me explain what is actually happening, because once you understand the mechanism, everything clicks into place. A shiny, soft coat is not something a cat's body creates out of nothing. It is built, quite literally, from fat. Specific fats, what we call essential fatty acids, mainly omega-3 and omega-6, and they need to be present in the right kind of balance. These fats travel through the bloodstream and get delivered to the skin, where they keep the oil glands working properly, keep the skin barrier strong, and give each strand of fur that natural shine you remember from when your cat was young. Here's the part that most people never learn. Dry kibble, even the good brands, even the expensive ones, loses a significant amount of its healthy fat content through oxidation the moment the bag is opened. Every time air gets in, every time it sits in your pantry for weeks, those delicate fats slowly break down. It is not spoiled in a way you can see or smell easily. It just quietly loses potency. So the food on the label and the food that actually reaches your cat's bowl 3 weeks after opening are not nutritionally identical. Not even close sometimes. But here is where it gets even more important for cat owners specifically, and this is something a lot of people do not realize because they assume cats and dogs work the same way. They do not. Dogs can take a plant-based omega-6, something like the fat found in vegetable oil, and their bodies can convert it into the active form they need. Cats cannot do that. Cats are obligate carnivores, which means their bodies are built biologically from the ground up to run on animal-based nutrients. One of those nutrients is something called arachidonic acid, and it has to come already formed, already ready to use from animal fat. Your cat's body cannot manufacture it from plant oils the way a dog's can. So if that specific nutrient is missing or degraded in the food, there is no backup system, no workaround. The body simply does not get what it needs. And the first place that shows up almost every single time is the coat. So now you understand why so many cats on decent food still end up with dull, rough fur. It was never really about the quality of the brand. It was about a very specific nutritional gap that dry food, by its very nature, struggles to fill consistently. Now, I know what you might be thinking right now. Dr. Sidney, does this mean I have to throw out everything and start over, buy some complicated supplement, spend a lot of money fixing this? And I want you to breathe for a second, because the answer is genuinely simple, and it might even feel like relief once I tell you. You do not need anything fancy. You do not need a prescription. What you need is already sitting in most grocery stores and probably costs less than that fancy bag of food you already bought. Sardines. Small canned sardines, packed in water, no salt added. Mash a small amount, just a spoonful or two depending on your cat's size, and mix it into her regular food twice a week. That is it. Sardines are rich in exactly those omega-3 fatty acids we talked about. And because they are fish, the fat is already in a form your cat's body can use immediately. No conversion needed. Another option, just as simple, is a cooked egg yolk. Just the yolk, cooked, not raw, once or twice a week, mixed into the food. Egg yolk carries good fats and supports the skin barrier in a very gentle, natural way. And if you want something even more direct, salmon oil made specifically for cats works beautifully, but I need you to really hear this next part, because it matters. The dose for a cat is much, much smaller than the dose for a dog. This is not one of those things where you can just eyeball it based on what you have seen for a dog at home. Cats are small, sensitive animals, and too much oil too quickly can cause digestive upset or contribute to weight gain over time. Always follow the feline-specific dosing on the product, usually just a few drops, not a spoonful like you might do for a large dog. Give this 3 weeks. Just 3 weeks of consistency, twice a week with the sardines or the egg yolk, and start running your hand down her back every few days, paying attention. You are going to start feeling something different under your fingers. Softer, smoother, and that dull, flat look in her fur is going to start catching light again, especially if she is a cat with darker fur. You will notice it looks almost glossy under the lamp in a way it has not in a long time. And I will be honest with you, there is something deeply satisfying about that moment. Petting your cat and feeling that softness return. It is such a small thing, but it hits different when you know you are the reason it happened, not the expensive bag on the shelf, you. Because you paid attention, because you noticed something was off and you did something about it instead of just accepting it as normal. Now, before I let you go, I need to say something important because I care about you and I care about your cat, and I would not be doing my job if I only told you the good news. Everything I just shared works beautifully for the common, everyday cause of a dull, dry coat, which is simply a nutritional gap. But I need you to watch for a few specific signs that mean something else might be going on, something that needs a veterinarian's eyes on it directly, not home remedies. If you notice actual patches of hair loss, places where you can see bare skin rather than just thinner or duller fur, that is different from what we talked about today. If your cat is licking or grooming compulsively to the point where you see raw skin or small sores forming, that is different too. And if the coat changes are happening alongside other symptoms, like your cat losing weight even though she seems to be eating more than usual or seeming unusually restless or vocal, those can sometimes point towards something like hyperthyroidism, a food allergy, or even a parasitic skin condition. These are not things to guess about or wait out. They need a proper diagnosis, blood work sometimes, a physical exam always, because guessing wrong on something like this can cost you time your cat does not have to spare. But if what you are seeing is simply that quiet dullness, that dryness, those little knots forming more than they used to, that is very often just your cat's body quietly asking for one thing it has been missing. And now you know exactly what that is and exactly how to give it to her. Take care of her. Pay attention to her. She is telling you things every single day in ways that do not use words. And the fact that you are here, right now, learning this, tells me everything I need to know about the kind of person she has watching over her.